How much noise is in your life, ladies and gentlemen? How much noise is in your life? That the point that we're going to talk about is the signal versus noise. He said a bunch of great things in there in that 6 minutes of wisdom, right? But how much that signal versus noise, how much are you blocking out the noise and staying focused on the signal, the focus, the blinders? Man, that's that statistic, 82 hours of information being given to us. Think about that. Our brains can't handle that stuff. How much are you taking in from social media, from your friends, from the news, from the paper, from just your phone? Like how much are you taking in? No wonder people can't get to their goals and dreams. No wonder people are far behind in their finances. No wonder people are not mentally tough enough to get to the life they want. No wonder people's health is out of order. No wonder people don't have connections in their spiritual life. No wonder people's relationships are horrible, right? It's because we have too many distractions. And if you or me, right, want to get to the life that we deserve, we want to get to our ideal life, you don't like the level that you're living and you want to get to the next level, these are the things you've got to learn how to do. We've got to learn how to cut the distractions, minimize the noise in your life, minimize the things that take you completely away from the life that you're asking for. That's what the enemy comes to do: kill, steal, and destroy, right? He distracts us. This is what the world comes to do, is to distract you, to take you completely away from the life that you deserve. So if you want to get to this life, if you want to be focused on getting to the life that God called you to live, the man or woman God called you to be, that's what you aspire to, then one of the things you got to learn how to do is cut the noise. We're going to talk about it. A couple things, other things Patrick Bet David said in there. He said, "You're battle tested. How mentally tough are you? How mentally tough are you?" If you've been jumping on these calls for some time, you know we read out of the text. It's called 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class. It's literally taking the world class performers, people that have excelled in life in in various areas, and taking the commonalities, the common threads. Success leaves clues. So if you can understand how to follow someone that's successful in how they think, in their mental toughness, you can get the same outcomes. We all experience similar things in life. There's nothing new under the sun, whether it's a health challenge, a financial challenge, a spiritual issue, a relational issue, right? And it's all the same stuff. The question is, how mentally tough are you to get through it? How do you handle it? Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it, how you choose to move through it. That's what it's about. And so if you can stay focused, if you can understand that you've been battle tested already, that's why you're here. You're stronger than you think you are, but you have to get more mentally tough to handle the life you're asking for, to handle what's up ahead, to go do something great with your life, to go fulfill some purpose that you have. You have to be mentally and emotionally tough to be able to go through this. There's levels to this thing, ladies and gentlemen. Always remember there's levels to this. What got you here won't get you there. What got you to the level that you are right now in your health, in your relationships, in your finances, in your career, in your business life, right? What got you to this place won't get you to this place. Whatever things you learn to get to here, there's a different set of things you need to learn to get to here. You have to be willing to unlearn and relearn. Some of the things that got you to this level, actually, you have to get rid of in order to get to this level. Like you can't even use these things down here to get to this place. But how willing are you to do that? How willing are you to take a step back, to unlearn some things, say, hey, that mindset doesn't really serve me anymore. The way that I was operating before doesn't really serve me to get to this next level. How I used to think about people doesn't really serve me to get to this level. How I've handled my money doesn't really serve me to get to this level. You have to be aware of those things and you have to be willing to change them because there's levels to it. Another thing I wrote down: not too high on the highs, not too low on the lows. Man, we're emotional beings. All of us are. We're run by emotion. Your ability to not be too high on the highs and not be too low on the lows is the key to you being successful. I learned this a very long time ago from mentors. They used to always remind me, Chris, not too high on the highs, not too low on the lows. How do you stay just right here? It's the emotional swings that cause people to completely get knocked out of this game called life. It's when you get really high on the highs when things are really, really good, and you get so low on the lows that you don't know if you'll ever recover. Those swings over time, over the course of your life, emotionally cause you to be absolutely drained. Absolutely drained. When the best things happen, you're just elated and you take vacations and life is just amazing and you're just riding high. Then, as soon as you hit that low moment in life, you are depressed for 6 months. You can't get out of the bed. You don't know those swings, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 times in your life will cause you eventually to be like, I can't do this. And then we flatline. We don't feel anything. We don't want to have hope to feel good things, and we never want to feel anything that brings us low, right? We just stay right there. That's not what I'm talking about. It's a matter of how do you just recognize that things can be good, and then also recognize that you're learning things when things get low, but you're not super high and not super low with your emotions. You're right here. That's how you know you're battle tested. That's how you know you can get through anything in life. That's how you understand that what's up ahead, you have the capacity to handle. It's important to know these things, ladies and gentlemen, as you go after the life that you want. Again, I always preface the calls. These aren't for the average people. That if you don't want to do this, listen to this, take this advice, like absolutely go for it or don't, right? But if you want to get to your ideal life, these are things you got to learn. These are things you got to learn. You got to cut the noise. You got to start paying attention to what are the things that will grow you in all the areas of your life that you want to grow. You got to ask yourself that question. What can I do? What do I need to focus on? What do I need to take away from my life that's going to help me get more clear on exactly the path I need to take? How do you say no to this, no to that conversation, no to this information, no to that event, no to that trip, no to that coworker, no to that family member? How do you say no so that you can come back to what you need to do? It's important. Something also that Patrick Bet David said in there is about, like, again, how battle tested are you? How much can you be mentally tough? Found this in our text, 177 mental toughness secrets, that says the world class never bows to criticism. You know, people are going to constantly criticize. You're going to, whenever you go out to do something great, whenever you go off to build the life you don't need a break from, whenever you're doing something against the norm, whenever you're going against the grain of society, whenever you have a goal, you have dreams, you have things you want to get to, people, and normally the people around you that say they love you, that care about you, are the ones that take you away from those things. But you got to know you can't bow to the criticism. You can't bow to anything. You got to, like Patrick Bet David said in there, sometimes you got to fight up. You got to stand up for yourself and say, you know what, that reputation, that's not true. Whatever you're saying about me, yeah, that's not the case. Here's what it is. And so in the text, here's what it says. It says mental toughness broken down to its root is really about becoming a master of your emotions in performance situations, especially under pressure. Just read that sentence again for you. Mental toughness, broken down to its root, is really about becoming a master of your emotions in performance situations, especially under pressure. Let me just stop there really quick, because sometimes we hear that word performance and we think, well, I'm not an athlete, or, I'm not a musician or an artist or somebody that would perform on a stage. However, you're performing every day. Your performance matters every day, as to your relationships, as to your goals and your health, as to your finances, as to your spiritual life. Like, these are the acts that you have to continue to do. So what happens when your family life is crumbling? When everything is not looking good, and you have pressure on yourself under this kind of pillar of family or of relationships, when you have pressures, the pressures that come from spouses or children or grandchildren or parents, the pressures, mental toughness is becoming a master of your emotions through that process. Not wishing it were easier, not wishing it away, wishing that you were better, wishing that you had more control of your emotions. So when your parent or when your child or when your spouse does something that wants to take you here, you know, not too high on the highs, not too low on the lows. You know how to master your emotions because you're mentally tough enough. You've practiced this. You've been to the mental gym to practice what happens in pressure situations, just like if you were an athlete and you said, and you're playing basketball and you're in practice and you're saying, there's 2 seconds left on the clock. I got to knock down these free throws in practice, not in the game. You practice the pressure situations for when the time comes that you're in that situation, you can perform. Same thing in life. Have you practiced what it would be like when you're financially in a hard place and there's pressures on you to pay your bills or pressures on you to provide? How are your emotions in that place? Have you practiced that? Have you been in the mental gym to practice what it's like in that pressure situation? Most people haven't. They wait till game time. They realize, I'm not prepared for this. I never thought I'd lose my job. I never thought I'd have to go back. I never thought I'd be in this debt. Now the pressures, they don't understand how to control their emotions. That's what this is preparing you for, ladies and gentlemen. That's what mental toughness training is preparing you for. The life that you asked for, that's up ahead, that's your ideal life, you're not ready to handle because we need to practice and master some of these things first. Anyway, back to what this says. It says the fastest way to differentiate an amateur from a pro is to observe how they respond to criticism. Amateurs are shocked when they are criticized, and many are emotionally wounded. Professional performers expect criticism as a part of being a champion and are rarely rattled by it. The mentally tough expect little from their amateur thinking counterparts, and when they are criticized, they often sum it up as amateur mudslinging. Professional performers rarely criticize other people. They're too busy working and practicing to get wrapped up in other people's business. They don't deal in personalities, they deal in ideas. Professional performers aren't surprised by criticism from average people. They realize they are a mirror into which amateurs look only to see themselves for what they really are, average. World-class performers make them look lazy and unmotivated by comparison, and they resent it. So they lash out and criticize. Meanwhile, champions ignore the criticism and go back to work. Whatever you want to go off and do, that's going to be great. Whenever you take a stand for yourself and for your life, whenever you have expectations for where you're going, whenever you have standards for what you will accept and won't accept, people that do not meet that standard, that expectation, that boundary, they will have things to say. They will criticize. How mentally tough are you to continue to go on your journey, even if that's the case, even if it's your friends and family, even if it's the closest people in your life? That's why we practice this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Again, because you want to go off and design your ideal life. You want a life you don't need a break from. You want to go out and build something that maybe your family, the people around you have never seen. So you have to be mentally tough enough. You have to master your emotions enough to allow you to continue to go down this journey. Not too high on the highs, not too low on the lows. Nothing, trouble doesn't last forever, right? Bad times don't last forever. Good times don't last forever. That's why it's not too high on the highs and not too low on the lows. How are you able to get through these pressure situations in your life? This is the practice, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you're practicing on a daily basis. This is why Patrick Bet-David said, if you want 2025 to look different, you have to be very intentional about cutting out the noise and just focusing on the signal, as he calls it. Just focused on the things that are growing your life, your faith life, your spiritual life, your health life, your relationships, your financial life, right? All of the things. That's the focus. That is the focus. You've got to be able to lock in regardless of what's happening around you. I know, easier said than done. I live in this world with you guys. I know the distractions that are there. I know the things that come with, right, being around and moving and growing and learning and all this stuff. Like I get it. And it's not a but, it's an and we still got to go off and design the life we don't need to break from. Since we only get one of these and you're not coming back, there's nothing else you're going to do. Like you can just, as it says in this book, sometimes you can arrive safely at death. That can be the goal, right? Let's just get as safe and comfortable as possible all the way out until we go. That could be somebody's mindset. Or it could be, I'm going to keep fighting and growing and learning and becoming and doing as long as God gives me breath. As long as I'm going to continue to go down this path, I have a vision for what I want my family life to look like. I have a vision for what I want my health life to look like. I have a vision for what I want my finances to look like. I have a vision for where I see our family, in 15 years, the generations. I have a vision for all these things, and I'm going to keep working, doing the work. This is the work, the internal work. Remember, this life that you experience, right? It's not the external, it's the internal that then reflects your external. It's whatever you're feeling inside. If you were just filled with joy, not, hey, when I get this, I'll have joy. Not, hey, when this situation clears up, I'll be happy. Hey, not when this thing gets finished or I'm out of this situation, then I can experience life. That's you looking at the external to change the internal. It's not the way it works. It's the opposite. Even though this is happening, when I change me, that will change. Even though I'm in this situation financially, once I change how I think about money in an abundance based mindset instead of a scarcity based mindset, I will then see that become a reality on the external. That's the game. The game is an internal game. It's never what's happening to you in life. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. You and I can go through similar situations, and I may just handle that situation a little bit differently than you do, which means I'll get a different outcome. I'll experience something different. I won't be as depressed. I won't be as angry. I won't be as frustrated. I'll still be able to perform under pressure. I'll still be able to show up and support my family, even though we're going through the exact same things. That's what I want for you because I know this life is hard and I know you're dealing with things and I know we struggle and I get it. And we still need to go off and design the life we don't need a break from. Both are important. Both are important and you can do it. You can make this thing happen. I believe in you. I'm going to constantly encourage you. I never said this would be easy. It will be worth it. You'll look back and be like, man, I don't even remember who that man or woman was 3 years ago. I don't even remember that person. I don't even remember why I was thinking that way. I don't even remember that side. I'm so different. Why? Because I've unlearned and relearned some things. I got in the mental gym. I got good. I got good internally so my external world can change. John Wooden, famous basketball coach here, says you can't let praise or criticism get to you. It's a weakness to get caught up in either one. Either one. Action step for today says decide to separate your emotions from other people's criticism of you. Refuse to talk about other people or gossip about their behavior. Focus only on ideas that can help you fulfill your vision. Signal versus noise. Let's practice. It's a practice. Let's practice cutting out the noise today. Let's practice that in your life. As soon as you get off this call, somebody's going to text you, somebody's going to call you with some BS, right? Your coworker is going to tell you something. It's going to happen immediately. It's just the way it works. That's why we do this. So you can be focused. Oh, that's the noise that Chris was just talking about. Okay, I got to limit that. Hey, I'll get back to you in 6 hours. Let me get through this. I'm going to get back to you. Boom, back to focus. That's how we change our life, ladies and gentlemen. I know you can make it happen. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. You got to know this stuff. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I'm not telling you that it is. It's just going to be so worth it when you finally have the capacity to handle that life that you're asking for. When you focus on the internal, your external world changes. That's how you get to the next level in life. And we got to go make it happen. Do something that scares you today. Push yourself out of your comfort zone, right? Eliminate the noise, get focused. Love you too, Dana. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad all of you continue to make it here. Let's continue to show up. It's too crowded down here at the bottom, Dana. It's time to get to the top of this thing. That's right. Love you guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. I'll see you Friday. Take care.